The sounds of the barn before I feed everybody. We have baby goats screaming at me. That would be the boys. Yeah, you're mad? You want food? Oh, Voodoo, that was pathetic. Phineas and Thorn don't holler. Just Voodoo and our little guy, the pigs. That's why I have to feed the pigs as fast as possible, because they are loud and mad and they push on the stall doors. The girls are a little bit more relaxed about things. Oh, pee in my clean stall. You're fired. Look, Ladybug isn't even hollering anymore. She has had her last bottle. It is over. It is done. And she's not the least bit concerned about it. So the slow weaning process does work. It has been effective. And then the donkeys. The donkeys are absolutely done with morning demands. They're already out in the pasture. They could care less. The boys are really funny, though. The boys are very loud. I can hear them when I come down to the barn as I'm letting the birds out. So, morning routine. I'm just going to run through it real quick. First thing I do is if the heat lamp is on for our birds, I turn it off because during the day it gets much too hot. It's potentially fix the grow out pen day. I'm trying not to nag Farm Hubby. We're being good about it. But if he fixes it today, they'll be out tonight or tomorrow at the latest. And that is probably for the best. So turn off the light. Not a big deal. Out of these 2 buckets and with these 4 bowls, I feed the girls their hay and their grain. It goes into the stall. I close the door so Denali can't come in and continue her mission of obesity. And they eat quietly. I pull their water buckets out of their stall while they're eating just because it's easiest. I'm not stepping over goats that way. They're busy. They're distracted. Did you hear that? That was fabulous. And then I just set them aside for the moment while they're eating. Next, I feed the boys. They get the same food as the girls, but we have 2 separate buckets here. Again, it just makes it easier. It's closest to their stall. Their bowls are right here. Boom, they get fed. I don't have to close anybody in. So again, with them, just grab their bucket and refill. They only have 1 water bucket. They don't need multiples. There's only 4 of them and 2 of them are babies. So I quickly just dump and refill their water bucket while they're eating, and they are done other than picking up the bowls. Then I move to the pigs. The pigs, I have to go in the stall, grab their bowls, come over here across the aisle, and they get pig food, which is in the littler container, but they also get hay stretcher, which is the same thing we give to the goats. So they get, a combination of 2 things. Everybody kind of gets a combination of 2 things. And they also only have 1 water bucket. It's just the 2 pigs. So that gets dumped and refilled instantaneously. The girls have 3 water buckets. And so that's why I just pull those out and leave them for the last thing. Then I check the donkey water buckets. The donkeys don't get hay or anything else in the morning. Obviously, they don't care. They're out. The boys are mad. So it's really just pull their 2 water buckets. They have 2 water buckets. They're larger animals. So, of course, they need more water. So they have 2 water buckets. Pull that. muck their stall if necessary. Sometimes it's necessary, sometimes it's not. But then their stall is done. So at this point, really, that's how fast it is. At that point, the pigs are completely done because I don't pick up their bowls. The donkeys are completely done because they don't get hay. The baby boys are done, and as soon as they're finished eating, I just have to pick up their bowls. And I don't have to, but I do pick up their bowls so their bowls don't get peed or pooped in. And they're done because they don't get hay anymore. So that leaves me just filling the water buckets for the girls, putting them back in the stall, opening the stall door and letting them out. They are not getting hay in the morning, just like none of the other animals are getting hay in the morning. So it's pick up their buckets, make sure they have their 3 fresh water buckets, done deal. Last but not least, make sure the cats have fresh water and their food dish is full. Their food dish is full. So I don't need to refill it at the moment, but their food is maintained right there where Sophie is. And then the very last thing is refresh the 2 waterers in with the little baby birds and fill their feeder. Their feeder's never empty, but I fill it to the brim anyway. They waste so much food. But they're little, they're growing. I don't want them to not have access to food. And that's it. That's the morning routine. Boom, boom, boom. I get it done. It takes about 15, 20 minutes. Of course, then I spend time doing some videos. So that takes a little extra time, assuming I'm not running to work. But yeah, I thought I'd just share. I can't show, I haven't figured out how to best show you the morning routine and walk you through it, because that would require some sort of rig to have the camera with me and be able to free up my hands. So that doesn't happen. Last but not least, worst case scenario, let's assume, like, for whatever reason last night I was lazy and tired and I finished all the food that's in the buckets and I need to, or in the cans, and I need to refill it. It's grabbing it from here and refilling cans. And yeah, we keep multiple cans of the same food just for ease and efficiency, right? Remember that, today is Sunday, so I'm kind of in a good place, but normally when we're down here, whether it's myself or Farm Hubby, we're in a race to get back to the house, to get dressed and get to work, right? If it's me, I'm working on getting to work by 6 o'clock in the morning, getting to the office by 6 in the morning. So you can imagine how quickly I want to get this stuff done. He goes in a little bit later. So if it's, Farm Hubby's chore day, he may do it slightly slower pace, but still not at a pace that is, lackadaisical, right? Like, we're moving, we're grooving. If, of course, we needed to feed hay, which we do in the winter, hay is stored right here. The open bale is in the tub with an attempt to keep the mess down. There's no way to keep the mess completely down. What we do is we drain this hay, as we use it, because we do still feed hay in the evenings. So as we use this hay up, we'll get down to the last bale and we'll sweep all that out and then have the next delivery. You have our fresh bedding stash here. I keep about 20 bags on hand because I go through 4 bags a week, which actually is nothing. A lot of people go through a lot more bedding than I do. And that is because I run the stalls relatively thin and clean them more often, right? If you're using a thicker bedding layer, you don't have to clean as often. But we have stall savers in our stalls. They're drainage mats. We have drainage layers. Everything's specifically designed to be able to drain. So really the only thing that gets stuck in and the boys are a perfect example, the only thing that gets stuck in the bedding is poop. And poop, their poop is, generally speaking, dry pellets. So it's not the most terrible thing in the world, but of course we don't want them living and eating in it. So running the bedding thinner so that the black stall mats that you see tacked up around the edges, which again are specially designed. These are not just rubber mats. They're specially designed mats to be able to drain urine through. And we've created a drainage layer under the barn before we set the foundation and built the barn. Makes it so that there's not urine collecting. There's no real stink, which is beautiful. So the goats have their bedding, and then the donkeys run bare, and their stall might be a mess. Remember, I haven't cleaned it yet, haven't fed anybody yet, haven't cleaned it yet. So their stall might be a mess. Bear with me. Actually, it's pretty good. But the little bit of poop that's in the stall is easy to muck out. I run it bare because, again, if they were to pee in here, it would drain right through, and they don't lay down in their bedding. The goats lay down. The donkeys, for the most part, sleep standing up. And so running a bare stall makes much more sense. And this is, you can see the mat is perfectly dry. If they have peed in it, that pee is already drained through and it's gone. And it makes it real easy. They have their mineral lick. They have a log for enrichment, so they try not to eat the barn. We have some fencing up to protect the barn for the winter time when they get bored and they eat the barn. But yeah, and then the pigs are on bedding as well, but the pigs are pristine. They don't need their bedding changed very often because they will not pee and poop in their stall unless it's raining or it's the dead of winter and they feel they can't get out. If they can get out of their stall, they will pee and poop out in the pasture. They will not pee and poop in their stall. So it makes it easy. So yeah, that's just a quick, actually it took me longer probably to talk through it than it did for doing the actual work. So I am going to get to feeding everybody before they completely lose their minds. And yeah, that's our morning routine. And the goats have pretty much decided that I'm being completely ridiculous as a human and a complete failure as a servant to them. So let me get them fed, which means until next time, there's work to be done. Bye for now.